To begin with, what is Bitcoin?
When bit 47.
A lot of people are familiar with Lightning, and Liquid is effectively layer 2.
Bit 129.
What is Taproot?
Sure, and Taproot, that's the first new protocol upgrade since SegWit.
Difficulty adjustments.
How do mnemonic seed words work?
UTXO management.
Today in Bitesize Bitcoin, we're going to be learning about Bitcoin mining server components. Emergentism is the belief that complex systems can exhibit properties or behaviours that are not present in their individual components. Such is the case with a Bitcoin miner. In today's Bitesize Bitcoin, we will review the components that comprise of a common air-cooled single-phase powered Bitcoin miner. Ooh, exciting. In many ways, a mining rig is less complex than other electronic devices we use every day. It's designed to perform only one function. It is comprised of a case, a control board, hashboards, ASIC chips, a power supply, fans, and the wiring to connect them all together. The control board is the central hub of the machine. It's responsible for controlling the other components of the rig and communicating with the greater Bitcoin network. It serves as the central hub for all the machine's hardware and software components. The control board contains a microcontroller, RAM, and other supporting chips and circuitry. It has connectors for various peripherals like temperature sensors, network connection, power supply, and fans. It's responsible for controlling and monitoring the operation of the rig. The control board controls the power supply to the miner, including the power draw of the ASIC chips, fans, and other components. It also monitors the power consumption of the machine to ensure that it is operating efficiently. It monitors the temperature of the ASICs and other components, and it adjusts the power and cooling accordingly. It detects any hardware or software failure. It can also protect the miner from overloading or other potential damage by shutting it down in case of fault. With firmware like Brains or Vinish, these shutdown parameters can be set by the user. It tracks the performance of the miner and provides real-time updates on mining statistics such as hash rate, pool stats like accepted and rejected shares. It also provides error logs and other diagnostic information to help miners troubleshoot. The control board includes a processor, ARM, FPGA, or a combination of both. It handles and communicates those tasks to the board. It includes a small amount of RAM and storage, such as an SD card to store software and data. Contains a variety of ports such as USB, Ethernet to connect to other hardware components, and the network. It is also equipped with an LED display to indicate network connection status and contains reset and IP report buttons. The fans are used to blow air over the ASIC chips and other components to cool them down. WattsMiner and Bitmain use two 12-volt 7 or 9 amp fans. The S19s use four smaller 2.7 amp 12-volt fans. Machines are designed to operate within a certain temperature range. The S9 and WattsMiner have an operating temperature range of 0 to 40 degrees. S19's range is -5 to 45 degrees. The case is the enclosure that holds and protects all the components of the machine. It also provides mounting points for various peripheries like fans and power supplies. The power supply does exactly what it says on the tin. It supplies power to the machines. It does this through a transformer and voltage regulator to convert AC to DC power required by the machine. Common power supplies are the Bitmain APW12 and the APW3+, as well as the WattsMiner PD21 and 22. The power supply consists of several key components. Power conversion module, which converts AC to DC, the power distribution board, which routes the DC power to the various components of the rig, cooling systems, yes, power supplies have fans on them as well, connector pins, single-phase power supplies have 3 pins, 2 hots and a ground, no neutral. Neutral is alternated between the 2 hots during their phases. Wall plugs and PDUs need to be 3-prong outlets. The fact that there's not a dedicated neutral means proper grounding is of the utmost importance. Bitmain has a C13 to C14 connector on the back of their power supplies, 1 on the S9 and 2 inputs for the S19. A C13 connector is a standard power connector that is commonly used on computers and other consumer electronics. Newer Watts miners use the C19 to C20 combination. The C19-C20 connector is a heavy-duty power connector that is more commonly used in data centers and other industrial settings. It's similar to the C13 connector, but it has a larger and more durable construction and is rated for higher levels of current and voltage. Bitmain continues to use the C13-C14 connector even though they are rated for less amperage. They achieve this by using 2 connectors on their power supply. ASIC manufacturers are designing gear more and more to the specifications of large mining operations. Both Bitmain and Watts Miner's water-cooled offerings, the Watts Miner M53 and the Antminer S19 XP Hydro, are 3-phase powered, meaning smaller operations would have to either have 3-phase power or have a device that can convert single-phase to 3-phase. The hashboard is a printed circuit board that contains the ASIC chips that do the actual mining calculations. It's a specialized circuit board that contains the ASIC chips and other components responsible for the ASICs. It also includes voltage regulators, power connectors, and the other supporting circuitry. ASIC, as you probably know, stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit, is the heart of the machine. Not so much the brains, but the brawn. It's a microprocessor that has been specifically designed to perform the hash function and is made of millions of transistors, which are tiny electrical switches that can be turned on or off to perform calculations. The chips are designed to perform our beloved SHA-256 hash function. Contrary to popular belief, miners aren't performing complex mathematical calculations. The process of performing the SHA-256 hash function on an ASIC involves a lot of intricate but low-level operation. The power of the ASIC mining rig is in its ability to do a lot of those operations quickly. The constant switching on and off of these microtransistors creates a great deal of heat. Heat that's dissipated through convection, conduction, and radiation via fans or immersion fluid. Heat sinks are used to increase the surface area of the chip. They are typically made of metal with a large surface and are attached to the chips through a thermal interface material or TIM. TIM, such as thermal grease, thermal paste, or indium foil, is used to transfer heat from the ASIC chips. Right, let's tie it all together. The communication between the control board and the hash board, and the control board and the greater Bitcoin network, is the most important part of Bitcoin mining servers. All other elements of the machine are to support that protocol. The control board sends data to the hash board to be hashed, and the hash board sends the results back to the control board. The control board then sends the results to the network to be verified and added to the blockchain. The control board communicates with the network through a protocol called Stratum. Stratum is a networking protocol that is used as a relay between mining devices and mining pool servers. It's a simple, text-based protocol that allows the miners to request work from the server and submit their results. Stratum v2 is an updated version of that protocol and adds additional features. See the Pleb Miner Month interview with Jan Čapek from Brains to learn more about Stratum v2. We colloquially call miners ASICs, but an ASIC is a type of chip, not the entire system. A play on Aristotle's musings. Concerning a system which is comprised of several components, the whole should not be defined by its individual part. Bob Burnett, @BoomerBTC. CEO of Barefoot Mining, often sounds the trumpet on this issue. The misuse of the term ASIC. Bob prefers mining server, mining system, or the more plebby term, mining rig. Our vernacular's full of misnomers, and the horse is out the barn with the use of the term ASIC to describe mining rigs. But in respect to Bob Burnett, we will do our very best to only refer to ASICs as the chips on the hashboard. Right, well that was a fucking nerd fest. Hopefully it was useful, hopefully it's broken things down and you understand a bit more what's going on in this Bitcoin mining server. As you can probably tell, John wrote this for me, so if you have any major questions that want to go a little bit deeper, he's probably the person to reach out to. Or you can send us a boost on Fountain or any of the other Podcasting 2.0 apps, and we'll cover it in our next episode of Pleb Miner Monthly. We look forward to hearing from you, and thanks again for listening.